It's time for a Vikings head coach update. All right, Kwesi is in the house. His first order of business is to bring a head coach to this squad. So there's been some changes. So we're going to talk about it before we get into that. Remember, subscribe to the channel, like the video, here every damn day talking Vikings. Let's get to 5,500 subscribers, huh?
By tomorrow?
Hopefully.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Quace is here. Great introductory press conference. Couldn't have gone any better. This guy's Minnesotans already love this guy. But now it's decision time. Warm and fuzzies need to go away. It's down to business. We had 8 guys. It's down to about 5 right now. 5 options.
It is down to 5. Hackett goes to the Broncos. Dan Quinn has already said he's going back to the Cowboys along with Kellen Moore. So the Kellen Moore hype, that fizzled out very quickly.
Moore's still getting an interview with the Dolphins. So his head coaching is still not quite there, but it sounds like he's going back to Dallas as well. Yes.
Well, one thing, he's not coming to the Vikings.
No, that's all we care about.
So, let's talk about the 5 that we interviewed that are still available. We have Todd Bowles. Mm-hmm. We have Jonathan Gannon. We have D'Amico Ryans. We have Kevin O'Connell, and we have Raheem Morris.
And to me, it comes down to those last 3 you just mentioned. I think it's going to be one of those 3, D'Amico Ryans, Raheem Morris, or Kevin O'Connell. And they all play this weekend, so we'll see what happens. You got to think. I feel whoever loses that game, they're going to get the first shot at this Vikings job.
We'll get their first shot, but Kwesi, I mean, looking at his press conference, I mean, he's not afraid to sit back and make a very thought-out decision, too. So I don't think he's one that's just going to say, all right, he's available, let's do this. So we will see, but they're definitely going to have their first shot at another very thorough interview.
Well, and the thing you gotta factor in too is that you don't hear these names linked to other jobs that are out there. Everybody seems to have their own guys. Giants are kind of linked to Dable. You hear Flores to like the Houston Texans. Miami's kind of got a few guys in the mix. Moore's one of them. So you don't hear a lot of these guys that we're looking at linked to other teams. So you feel like you have a little bit of cushion here, a little bit of time to work with, but still, just going back over trends over the years. NFL teams, they like to have that man in place, the new head coach, before February really gets rolling.
Pushing for the cushion for the pushing. So, I mean, Kwesi, we said this in a couple of previous episodes, is he's always been associated with a team that hasn't had an offensive-minded head coach. Clearly it's not like that was his decision by any means. But I still think that weighs pretty heavily on where he's going to be leaning towards. And out of these guys, I mean, Kevin O'Connell is the offensive-minded coach out of this group.
He is, and you look at where he comes from. Sean McVay, creative offense, an offense that's definitely modern,
young, up and coming.
And you look how they use Cooper Kupp. I love how they use him as a blocker, as a decoy, as a number 1 target. You got Justin Jefferson here. You could see a similar use for him as well. I mean, Justin Jefferson could probably be a hell of a blocker. That kid loves to play football. He's shown physicality. So you could use him in that Cooper Kupp role. It'd be pretty damn exciting. And it would be fun just to have an offense that's aggressive, like all the time. Oh. I think O'Connell would bring that here.
Hell yes. The Rams of 2000, the greatest show on turf. So out of these 5 that are left, is there a couple that you're just really just saying, it's great they're interviewing. I'm glad they're getting a chance. But is there anyone that you just feel that don't stand a chance?
Well, Jonathan Gannon, to me, I just don't know much about this guy. I look at the Philadelphia defense. It doesn't get me excited, really. So he's kind of, to me, the lowest guy on this list. Next would be Raheem Morris, because I just don't really want that retread coach. I want fresh blood. I want new blood here. I want it from day one. Yeah, you start hearing these names, Todd Bowles, Raheem Morris. There is things that get you excited a little bit, but I just want a guy who hasn't done it before. I want Kwesi to have his young coach to pair with the young GM. I think that would be a great mix. So to me, the 2 front runners really are D'Amico Ryans and Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, I mean, they are the front runners, I think, but I think Raheem Morris is damn near neck and neck with these guys. So I'm not putting out Raheem Morris at all. I agree. I mean, Jonathan Gannon, he seems like a guy that everybody loves as well. I mean, that's kind of the theme.
I know.
That's kind of the theme that also Kwesi wants to bring in. He wants a guy that is going to be working with him daily, communication constantly. And Jonathan Gannon, he was with the Vikings previously with a defensive back coach, and he is a player's coach. So I'm not completely putting him out, but I think you're right. I think the guys that really stand out on this list are the three you mentioned: Raheem Morris, O'Connell, and D'Amico Ryans.
I feel like Gannon is a sneaky dark horse that still is very much in the mix, even though he doesn't get as much buzz as these other three. You can't rule him out yet, but and I think we also have to factor in guys who aren't tied in yet. Maybe Kwesi wants to bring in some other guys. Maybe he wants to bring in Eric Bieniemy. Maybe he wants to look at Jim Harbaugh. There's other guys out there that have not yet come in. There's no reason to think that he can't still bring in an outside name that's not been previously interviewed.
Yeah, I would almost fully expect an interview to come out of nowhere just so we can pick their brains. You know what's really really confusing and kind of concerning?
What's that one, Bar?
Tell. A tweet today that really didn't hit home until I actually read it. Ryan Poles didn't even interview Eric Bieniemy. I mean, from Kansas City. What's with Eric Bieniemy? I mean, we don't even talk about it, but maybe he's just meant to be an offensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
I've heard he's interviewed poorly in the past, and that's just my inside sources telling me this. So
that's me. That was me telling you that.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Eric Bieniemy. I could see a Jim Harbaugh. We could see maybe a last-ditch effort for Brian Daboll just to save him from going to the Giants, because we all know what happens when you head coach for the Giants. I fully expect a random interview out of the blue. But I think these guys that we have left out of the five, gut reaction says it's going to be one of these guys.
I feel that way as well. I think Josh McDaniels the guy I don't want to run up just yet. I hear he's been kind of tired of the Raiders here lately. Of all the retread coaches, he gets me the most excited, just being under the Belichick tree. I think he's ready now. I don't know if he was quite ready when he took over Denver. I feel he's there now, and I'd be kind of excited with that move. But again, there's not a lot of buzz there right now. But we'll see what happens. You got to think, though, Kwesi's here now. He's been here a day. He has a press conference. Now it's probably time to get down to business. So if he's going to bring other guys in, other candidates in, we should start hearing some, maybe tomorrow, Saturday. You think it's got to start happening soon.
It's going to happen. I can't wait for it to happen. I refresh constantly. I mean, I'm not as down on the retread coach as you. I mean, we've seen some of the best coaches in the NFL have been retread coaches. So I'm not that down on it. Retread, I call it experience.
That's one way to say it. I know it's just me. I mean, yeah, after day one, after I hear him talk, I'll probably be all over it, but it just doesn't excite my parts.
Doesn't excite his parts. So that's pretty much it. I mean, before we wrap this hog up, right now, put you on the spot. If you had to guess from your bottom of your sack, who will be the next Minnesota Vikings head coach?
If you're sticking a gun up my asshole, first of all, thank you. Second of all, don't pull the trigger.
You're welcome.
I'm going D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, I'm going D'Amico Ryans too. Comments below. Who do you think will be the Vikings' next head coach? Also, remember, subscribe. Like the video. Hashtag skull in your hole. Still a chance to win all that swag.
And don't just drop hashtag skull in your hole. Truly keep your skull in your hole. And as you do, remember this. In 2009, Nigerian police, the feared Nigerian police, arrested a goat on suspicion of attempted armed robbery.